me and this freaking mic. What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. It's just Rhonda. Hope everyone is having a lovely Tuesday. My Tuesday is hot. It's hot as monkey balls over here. One thing about Florida, we don't get like spring, really. We get it's hot as hell. This time of year, I feel like this is when we join the gym. Most people go to the gym in the winter, like around the holiday time, so you can get your summer body ready. You know, it's always summer around here. So, my summer body is going to be what it's going to be. And yeah, I'm feeling like because of the heat, it's time to go ahead and get into the gym because evening walks and, not really going to be a thing. Hello, T. Happy to have you here. I'm just sitting here chit-chatting about the weather, something that, we always do. It's hot. I know you not so hot. You already gave me the breakdown of your temperatures over there, for the Memorial Day weekend. But, over here trying to survive this heat, child. We just getting started. Yeah. So we're here for Love and Marriage Detroit. It's part 2 of this reunion. I like the video. Subscribe to the channel before we get into it. And yeah. Love and Marriage Detroit. Is there going to be a third season? I don't know. I would watch if they got a third season. Like we suffered through umpteen million seasons of Huntsville. I don't see why we can't go back over here to Detroit and see what's happening with these people that y'all have introduced us to. Minus the Dobines. Do y'all like the Dobines? I'm not feeling the Dobines so much. It's so cold in the D. Well, in more ways than one, it seems like this cold-blooded, it's cold weather, it's cold-hearted, it's just cold in the D. I'm not in the D. I'm in Cape Town. It's hot over here. Shoot. Yeah, do y'all like the Dobines? T, do you like the Dobines? I feel like they can bring back everyone except them. I don't really care to know any more about them than I have learned thus far. But yeah, where we pick up? We pick up, she said, boo to the Dobines. Surely they have someone else over in Detroit that would make, for more entertaining. So, yeah, that's 2 votes for the Dobines to go. They can go. Sorry about it, y'all. Right now we're at the reunion and Kristen is not taking accountability for not acknowledging Colby's baby. I think Kristen was wrong. Like, she was wrong. I don't care how she spin it. She didn't know any of those things that she said. She should have at least text that lady to congratulate her on her baby. Because you can't okay, say they get a season 3. I don't know. If they get a season 3, you can't continue with this type of, separation, Christina, because you're going to be on an island by yourself. I'm busy.
I know, sorry.
That's so ghetto. That is so ghetto. Anyway, one of these days I'm going to have my own studio and I'm going to put a lock on the door. Christina wrong. She's dead ass wrong. I think though, Dr. Latoya is to stay out of it. It's so irritating to me that Colby and Christina can't have a moment with Dr. Latoya not sticking her nose in it because she's so determined to be anti-Christina. And I don't even want to be yes, that was Pop running through the room while he know I'm on a live. Disrespectful. He better be glad I'm on blurry because he's out there doing yard work. So Pop is looking busted. That's what he get. Anyway, yeah, Latoya is just jumping in this conversation, I feel like, because she just wants to be anti-Christina. Christina got on my nerves first season. I went back and watched a little bit of it. It was just sad. Like, Christina and Brandon came in here on their misery. So this little moment they had, as much as I appreciated it, I didn't buy it for one single second because we know Brandon wanted out. Christina and Colby are both like determined not to communicate with each other. If both of y'all are going to be saying, you didn't call me, I didn't call you, and so then nobody's calling nobody. Joe Biden did bring that up, and it makes sense. Like, so then nobody's going to call everybody. And I'm tired of these people saying that we're only talking when we're not filming. When we're filming, when we're not filming, we're not talking. Latoya will never be the it girl. She's not. She's corny. She's stiff. She's staunchy. She's not pleasant. She brings Anthony along. That's, annoying. And now she's like trying to keep tension within this friendship. Colby says that Christina, or Carlos brought that up, Christina doesn't communicate. They're doing the same thing they did with Mel. I hate to keep making the comparison, but they said the same thing about Mel. But Colby, if you're not feeling her and you don't care and you're unbothered if she doesn't call you, then why would she be calling you, when you're not filming? Do you really be talking to Dr. Latoya like that? I doubt it. Do you really be with Kimberly Dobine? I doubt it. As much as said, Kimberly says she texted you, so you didn't even call her directly and say, "Hey, the baby's here." I know when my grandson was born, I was at the hospital texting my people that were waiting for this baby to be delivered. Didn't I, T? We was all there in the hospital together. Shoot. I don't know. I don't know why I would be reaching out to you if we're not really friends. Filming, not filming. Obviously when we're filming, we have to come up with things to do. Seems like Christina is the only one that came up with things to do. What were they doing? Christina and Bravo. Y'all, this girl continues to call my grandson her grandson. That is not true. And you're going to confuse the people as what the dynamics are. This is not her grandson. She has a granddaughter who is every bit of everything you just about to see. Grandson, mine. Granddaughter, yours. Now, if these girls go back to the drawing board again and, maybe we'll get one of each and we can all put them. What did this man on Never Ever Met touch them together like infinity stones? And then we'll rule the world. That's what we're going to do. Kobe's not going to do it. She's going to sit over here, whine, and complain. She says she's not pressed about having a friendship with Christina. Clearly, because they're not communicating with each other. I think it's sad when I look at, for the better of the business, if y'all are going to be in business. I just, if Christina's not your cup of tea, Kobe, I don't feel like you need to be friends with her. But if we're going to say in the realm of it's a show, it would make more sense for you and Christina, who are influencers, to take on the world together. Imagine how much y'all could accomplish really doing things together on a grander scheme of things. Everybody over here trying to be the big middle couple in the middle. So the couple in the middle always gets a divorce, Colby. So I don't even know why you think that's a thing that you would want to be. But I feel like everybody's big dogging. Dr. Latoya and her goofy Anthony are over there trying to make themselves the center couple. And that's never going to happen because like T said, Latoya's not an it girl. She's an ick kind of girl. Get on your damn nerves with all her prissy properness. And I don't have any problem with people being prissy, proper, bougie, or any of those things. I just feel like it don't have to be at the expense of somebody else. We way too grown for that. The way she looks down on Chelsea is sickening. Dr. Latoya, in my opinion, and Kimberly probably to some extent, they baby Colby. Colby comes from a family of a lot of women. And I think Colby likes that. She likes that being doted on because I'm all over the place, but I mean, it's okay. Colby is over there being so miserable because she's living the life that she signed up for. You wanted this handsome husband that's going to do all the things, provide and, take care of the family and all of the things that, according to your traditional values. And you have these children and you over here, you haven't had one moment that wasn't miserable, Colby. When I went back to the last season, she was in that house because her husband does things without telling her, much like Brandon. Brandon is over here having artists without filling Christina in. You on your high horse like you're so different, but this man is over here becoming a preacher and buying gyms without consulting you. Y'all are not, I mean, it's different, but I mean, not all the way different. Kobe is a brat. Maybe she act like one. She doesn't act like an adult. And I think as long as Latoya and Kimberly dote on her the way they do, then she's gonna gravitate towards that. Christina's not doing that. And like I said, imagine what they could do together as a team. And, you know, both of them can be doing big things. These are two pretty girls. They should be over here, you know, having beauty brand contracts. One thing about that Mel, she got her beauty line going, 7th Avenue, and making records and things. She's not afraid to perform. We don't really need a whole lot of Melanie Holt albums. But what I'm saying is she took advantage of this platform. She's doing what is she like for what's the designer's name? J Bolin. She's over here modeling and being a representative for J Bolin. I feel like y'all are missing the mark by doing this thing where Colby, where you separate yourself from Christina, because these other two girls ain't it, first of all. Second of all, this opportunity is only going to last for such a short time. If you're not friends with this girl behind the scenes, we don't care. We don't, you know, need to see any of that anyway. But if y'all paired up together, you know, while the show was running, then I feel like you could be exposed to a hell of a lot more than what you're doing right now. But no, you want to sit there and whine. I seen pictures look like Christina's back out there, you know, doing her influencing thing, taking pictures and things. And so I hope she sticks with that, because seems like there was a long pause between her first, you know, between what she was doing when she first started this to, you know, now. Colby says she puts walls up when she hurt. I think everybody puts walls up when they're hurt, Colby. So that's not, I don't think that's so weird. And what did she do to hurt you, though? That would be the real question. I know y'all had a little falling out, a little tip, but it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. They're bonding over their dislike of Christina. Yeah, but you know, that never works, first of all, because it's a friendship built on negativity. And also, what is it benefiting Colby? Nothing, except acting like an old hag over there with them. Christina and Colby's fallout was not that serious. It really wasn't. Not for her to be, you know. And Christina gonna have to stop, like, I feel like she punishes people when she's hurt. So her, you know, her fallout with Colby made her not call her. I'm not going to call her, you know, when she has that baby, even though I know she's pregnant. So they are definitely tit for tat. They're tit for tat, and it ain't doing nothing to build either one of their brand, to be honest. And bonding over the dislike of somebody is not ever going to end up to be a positive thing. Carlos says that he doesn't think the issues are that deep. He says that about every relationship, but I think he's right this time. It's not that deep. As far as I can remember, they fell out over doing a project together. And I thought they got past it. I feel like this show is, you know, jealous and envy, and that's what it'll do, I guess. And I mean, coming from both sides, wanting to be the breakout star. That's why they over there mad at Quad. Christina cries when she talks about seeing Kendall. I guess, do their kids go to the same school or something? She said she saw Kendall in the hallway, and she said Kendall said hi, but she didn't think Kendall remember her. The bonding moment was fake. Well, I feel like it's because Carlos always forces it, but it seems like Christina has to be the person every single time to go get up and say sorry, and she apologized. And, you know, why does she always have to be the one, you know, to get up and apologize when they, like I said, they haven't even established what the issue even is. I did not know Colby's father was her stepfather. She brought up that, you know, apparently there's a rift between her and her biological, and they don't speak. I'm not, you know, making light of what she's gone through in terms of that, but she's amongst so many other people that, you know, have gone through this. And a lot of other people don't never have the luxury of having a wonderful stepfather. That's how she calls him, that came in and treated her like he was one of his own. So I mean, yeah, I'm sure it affects you that you don't have a relationship with your biological, but you have a man figure in your life that for you, you know, you ain't saying nothing negative, you're saying positive things. And so you're using that as a reason why you treat people meaning Christina, the way you do, where you respond. You don't have to like her. Like I said, if y'all don't connect on a level and she did something that made you feel, you know, like I don't really want to deal with her like that, because I wasn't loving Christina in the beginning either. But if you're thinking logically and why you came over here to do this reality show in the first place, as far as I'm concerned, going on a reality show just to share your life is stupid. Especially when you're dealing with Bravo or Carlos King or any of these people, you know that their goal is to produce this mess that happens. So you better be on your business and try to make sure that whatever is going over there, what you're doing is going to be reflected. I do see Colby um, doing a lot of posting and partnering up with a lot of different brands. I don't know that they're on a big scale. I don't know how the whole influencer thing works. I think it probably isn't as lucrative as maybe it once was, you know, because everybody's an influencer. So, you know, you're going to have to work hard to network. This right here is a perfect opportunity, but you wanted to come over here instead of doing pregnancy pictures. And now that we've seen like how you were really feeling, it kind of, you know, you look at the pictures, you don't have the same energy, Colby. Um, she, you know, talked about her childhood trauma. They have a little moment where they, you know, a hug, and like T said, it's fake. I don't know that anything is going to come out of it. I don't know why Carlos keeps forcing those moments. I feel like people do better with reconciling when they do it within their own time. She could have had a whole pregnancy line. Yeah. Yep. And signed over here with Target or whoever else. You know, I'm saying Target because Target has those types of used to. I don't know what they're doing over there. It's a big brand. I don't think it's going anywhere just yet. Um, what was I saying? Latoya. I feel like Latoya and Kim definitely feed into her negative energy towards Christina. They're like the two ugly stepsisters. I don't mean they're ugly. I just mean that their behavior is ugly. Over there, like, you know, trying to step on her. Oh, hey, Elsie, she's going out to dinner. You got your freakum dress on? No, she says she bringing her son for his birthday. Have fun. Happy birthday, son. Y'all check out El Cid on El Cid's channel, El Cid 932. She's gonna take you on a ride around the world of love. You can get blind love in Brazil and Argentina and all these different cool places. So I think on one hand, as much as I feel like Love is Blind is ridiculous, it has to be really interesting to see like how people from other countries and other cultures, you know, their dating process and falling in love. Ain't no love over here. I feel like as it relates to Chelsea, because Chelsea enters the stage. Um, Chelsea, I don't like your hair, I don't like your dress, and I don't like your makeup. So that's it. That's all. I hope you can do better next time. I feel like everybody, you know, she's not a influencer, I don't think, but I didn't like it. It was just a lot. Some people need stylists. So Chelsea, if you're gonna be over here following this lady, following this lady around as her whatever her representative is, you might want to just don't. Christina. Christina is no better because Christina has worn those gold boots, thigh high boots up to her little thighs 17 times, and they're ugly always. Dr. Latoya and Colby don't like Chelsea. I'm not sure why, because every time the conversation comes up, the goalpost gets moved around and over. I don't know why they don't like this girl. Latoya obviously thinks she's better than Chelsea, the way she carries herself, and she's ghetto, and I can explain that, in 15 different ways if they want to. I think Latoya thinks she's better than Chelsea, and Colby thinks she doesn't belong here. What she say? Christina's not a real friend, letting Chelsea go out like that. I mean, like I said, Christina's taste ain't no better. It's a hit or miss. She looked really nice this time, but she's usually wrong more than she is right. Because I feel like I've talked about her ugly choices many, many times. Maybe she did help, child. They keep saying that Chelsea has not taken accountability. I don't know what she's supposed to be apologizing for. For whatever reason, Latoya thinks she should be apologizing to Anthony. And why? Latoya said that Chelsea says something. You said don't support my brand. Chelsea says she don't remember saying that. I mean, Chelsea, did you say it or not? I hate that answer. I don't remember saying that, but if I did, I apologize. I mean, Chelsea, Dr. Latoya, do you have any receipts? Please don't come tell me something. If you've seen it with your own eyes, then you should have clicked it with your own phone. Please stop acting like you don't know how to use Google and, screenshots and things. Latoya thinks being a doctor makes her better than everyone. Yeah, like Dr. Jackie and all of them. That's how she acts, like Dr. Jackie. Is that who she's channeling over here? Chelsea said it. That's what I said. At first I was like, did she say it or not? But now that she's over here not remembering what she said, I'm not even mad at her for saying it. Just stand on business, because what Anthony was over there doing was ridiculous. Girl, I still think Dr. Latoya's attitude is gross, even if she did say it. She said that she was like catching strays based on the way Anthony was acting, but we always gonna pretend like we didn't see Anthony doing anything wrong, Dr. Latoya. Chelsea said, "Where's the receipts?" Dr. Latoya says she don't be in the blogs and she don't be on nobody's podcast. But she says she be in the streets, even though she doesn't have time. She doesn't have time for anything. She doesn't have time for her children. She's so pressed about time, but she be's in the streets, and she hear what the streets be saying. The streets be saying that Christina's manipulative and that this girl Chelsea is ghetto. I went back and looked at the wine tasting from season 1, and I was like, what actually happened? I remember what happened, but I wanted to know, because Latoya stands like 10 tones down that somehow Chelsea was being ghetto and Anthony was not. And so I looked at it, and what had happened was Anthony spilled the beans about Brandon being at the club when Christina said she didn't want him at the club. So there was this whole back and forth about Brandon being in the club. And then Anthony started ribbing Christina about how she's too controlling, and Brandon can't do nothing unless he asks permission. And Anthony was doing Anthony things, the things that he sat up there and admitted himself that his wife has to tell him that he's doing too much. So he sat at the table, mind you, where they have never met before. She just brought, I'm gonna bring my girl with me. That's not unusual. Can I have another ticket? Chelsea then chimes in and she said, I love the brand. The wine is very nice. But why are you so invested in what's going on between these two, this husband and this wife? And then Anthony said, because this is my guy. I've known him for 20 years. I love him. He's like my brother. I can't tell, but this is what Anthony was saying. And then he kept going. He said, you just don't know who I am. So you need to stay in your lane, little girl. And now Chelsea's clutching her pearls. Like, what the hell is he talking about? He said, don't come over here. You don't know me. Don't play with me. That's what he said. And then Chelsea replied, clearly you're in your feelings. Are you on your cycle? So this is where the ghetto started. But Dr. Latoya, it got ghetto. But your husband was the one that started it. So I want you to be clear on that. I think Anthony is the one that owes Chelsea an apology. You don't know who I am. My friends buy buildings. He said, we bosses over here. What did he say, Christina? You need to watch who you hang around with because we bosses over here. You're going to have to level up. Like he kept going in on this girl. And like she said, nobody said anything. Christina finally jumped in and was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But for the most part, Anthony was ripping her apart and she was left there to defend herself. Now, I don't know what she was going to say afterwards. I feel like Anthony could have just left it at that and been like, I mean, he's my friend. I love him like a brother. So, but no, he told this lady she's just a little girl, need to stay in her lane. Like all of that was way too much and really disrespectful. But Dr. Latoya, she refused to acknowledge that. Anthony showed his ass at that wine tasting event. That was your event where Anthony showed his ass. Just saying. He came at Chelsea with his neck rolling, his fingers was snapping, and his tongue was clicking. Girl, little girl, you don't know me. I'm a boss over here. That was Anthony. After Chelsea explained how did nobody have her back, then Anthony felt stupid. So he got up and went over there and said, sorry. I'm sorry. That's not, we've both done too much. She said she had been abused in the past. I feel like, what's her name? Chelsea, Colby, and Kimberly all used excuses that really didn't have nothing to do with the situation. I get what she's saying about dealing with abuse. And, maybe in the moment, like she said, she wasn't so triggered, but then to have to keep people coming at you and have to talk about it. I don't know, Chelsea. I think you said it and, stand on business. If that's what you said, you were mad. This man was over here being disrespectful and I'm not even mad at you for saying it. When you start saying stuff like, I remember, if I said it, I'm sorry. I don't feel like you owe Latoya no apology either because she was acting like a stooge. All three of them tried it. They did. They used their, trauma. I mean, I feel like a lot of us have trauma. So we get to use that as an excuse of, how you treat people. Because how you respond to them is one thing, but how you treat them, Anthony treats everyone. Anthony called his friends that he loves so much dick riders for no reason, except for the fact that they're closer to each other than they are to him. Anthony said, I mean, even in his apology, he was like, we went too far. I was like, you went too far. She matched your energy. And if that's ghetto, the fight definitely got ghetto, but we're not going to call Chelsea ghetto if we ain't calling Anthony ghetto. He was loud and annoying throughout the whole thing. Then he gets up and apologizes to the girl after Latoya was standing 10 toes down. Now she over there puffed up looking a fool. And her husband is saying sorry. She wasn't even at the studio. She's so bothered by what went on in the studio when she wasn't even there. Colby, pregnant, keeps on jumping into arguments that ain't got nothing to do with her. And then cry and say, you can't call a woman with child a stooge. Well, then you're a pregnant stooge. I can call you whatever I want to call you because I wasn't talking to you. You brought yourself in an argument. And Chelsea pointed out, as both of them were screaming at her, she's like, this is what I'm talking about. It's 2 against 1. Again, here's me sitting here trying to have a conversation. Here's both of you coming at me at the same time. Now y'all look a fool. Colby got an excuse. I don't remember what his excuse was because it sounded stupid. They go back, Carlos, go back to this argument at the club. At Bravo's club after Christina performed. And Christina was asked, I don't remember who even said it, but they asked her, why didn't she step in when Chelsea and Latoya were going back and forth? And she said, I don't feel like they needed no more voices. And she's right. See how that works, Colby? Colby, Latoya, and Chelsea are grown women. If they going back and forth, they can handle it on their own. Nobody needs your 9-month pregnant self to jump in the fight, in the conversation. It wasn't even no fight. Wasn't nothing even gonna happen. Latoya sitting up there, ain't nobody gonna play me. Nobody plays Dr. Thompson. I'm Dr. Thompson. I'm not gonna be played by you. And Christina's like, who is trying to play you? What are you even talking about? She don't know. Nobody trying to play her. She trying to big dog. She taking a page out of Anthony's book. I don't know what plan they came up with, but it's really not. It's not a good look. She called herself Doctor. I call her Dr. Latoya. Does she call herself Dr. Latoya? Nobody's coming after Dr. Latoya. Okay, girl. I didn't see anybody doing that. I seen this girl, Chelsea, standing up for herself amongst you people who think you're so much above her because she's ghetto. It's Detroit. Everybody ghetto. Shoot. I mean, and none of them, don't be mad. It is what it is, child. Colby. It was so gross to me how Colby was, pretty much like, you can't come sit at our table. Nobody wants you here. We don't have to be around you if we don't want to. And Chelsea's like, I didn't. You brought your chair over here. I'm like, y'all know this is Christina's friend. So what was she supposed to do? Go sit somewhere else while y'all film and say what? Everybody tell Christina how she's manipulative, and that's old. That's really old. Y'all weren't going to sit there and be nice. So Latoya has it in her head. Dr. Latoya has it in her head that what's this girl? Chelsea. Chelsea started it. Chelsea started everything. Child, I guess. It seems a silly argument at this point to be had between, because like I said, they don't know. They don't have any idea why they don't like the girl. They don't have a real reason. They keep moving the reason around because she was rude, because she was ghetto, because she didn't apologize. She came and did all those things. And I mean, still we looking for a reason to be mad at Chelsea. Y'all seem awfully intimidated by somebody who's you consider so beneath you. Carlos asked Chelsea what kind of friend is Christina. They're close. She says she feels like a sister. So, I mean, I didn't even understand the point of that question, Carlos. What was she supposed to say? They're cool. They're not mad at each other. Is Christina problematic? Probably. But in this instance, it's them, not her. So we get this moment to talk about the Dobines, child. We're all the way back to this conversation about the Dobines and their mediocre phones. So Kimberly Dobine is mad at Christina because somebody amongst their group said that her and her husband was mediocre because they have Android phones. And you wanted Christina to stand up for you and say what? I feel like in the midst of that type of conversation, you good, you can handle it. You don't have no comeback. I don't give a shit what kind of phone I got. There's so many things. It just seems such a ridiculous reason to be upset. And then Christina said, I don't know. I didn't know what she said. You got a Samsung, girl? Well, then welcome to mediocrity. According to whoever these people are, they're having an argument about people that we don't even know. Samsung, iPhone, ain't none of them cheap. Jeez. And I would have told that lady to kiss my ass. End of the conversation. This is her reason for having an issue with Christina. Argue every day. Wait, say what? You argue every day to prove your love? Your love for who? The Dallas Cowboys or your Samsung phone? It seems like a lot of work. Who you argue with? You argue for your love of Samsung. You have a bunch of iPhone people that be talking shit about your phone. This is so silly. Has it ended any of your friendships? I have an iPhone. I never said nothing about your phone. I know I don't have I don't have any friendships lost over a conversation about a phone. I never said anything about your phone. That's not true. I need Christina's lies. I need her sign. I don't remember anything about that. Oh, you talking about Diamond? As long as you're not talking about me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in the chat having a conversation with Tamika. Oh my gosh. So the people think that Latoya brought Kimberly Jobine in to go after Christina. I don't know if that's what it is. I believe that's what it is, but if she says that's not what it is, maybe not. But I still think that you didn't hate that this lady, Kimberly Jobine, had a hard on for Christina. She came over there because she was holding some type of grudge about her iPhone. Then she started crying about her relationship with her mother, and I was like, what is going on? So the relationship that she had with her mother somehow makes her give. Christina says she's a giver, and if you don't give in the same way that she's giving, then she has a problem with it. I believe that. I don't know what the whole thing. I was like, you literally just said the same thing Colby said. So now Colby is because of her daddy. That's her issue with Christina. They really trying hard to find a reason to why they don't get along with Christina. Delbine had a whole segment and we still didn't get to the bottom of it. So if I was Christina, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be pressed to be around that lady. And they was over on Carlos King, Kimberly Delbine and Latoya were over on Carlos King's channel talking shit about Christina, still doing the same thing. You know someone like who? Like Christina or like Kimberly Delbine? I know Kimberly went to that restaurant with a bag of clothes that she threw on the floor. Was that ghetto or no? Because then people were very appalled by her behavior. She got female trauma. I guess her female trauma doesn't make her treat other people the same way. What's her name? Dr. Latoya. Your female trauma don't affect you when it relates to Dr. Latoya or Colby. And I'm not sure. So, what is the expectation? You got female trauma from your relationship with your mother. I don't know what that has to do with Colby, but okay, you brought it up. I didn't. And now, what is Colby supposed to do different? You want her to show up how? As what type of friend? You want me to cut somebody out because they said something about your phone? Because if it was me, I would be like, yeah, your friend was talking shit. I don't know about her. But that's as involved as I would be with it. I can't really see myself losing sleep over it. She can't even come up with a valid reason why her and the lady fell out. When Carlos asked her, she didn't have a reason. She don't know why. Brandon and Anthony's friendship. I feel like a lot of this could have been done in one reunion. I get it now that we don't do just one reunion anymore. Brandon and Anthony don't have a friendship. And this is probably very inappropriate to say, but I'm going to say it. And, it is what it is. Anthony is jealous of Brandon because he's light-skinned with wavy hair. And I feel like that's not only a women thing. I think that men deal with that same colorist issue. Because he doesn't have any other reason why. Brandon doesn't, his wife ain't a doctor. She over here still trying to figure out what she wants to do with herself. Y'all live in that lovely home. You have all these businesses and you're so braggadocious about. So what do you really have, against Brandon? He's your brother. You've known him more than 20 years, but everything you say about Brandon is a slight. Or, whoever. I guess that's just how he is. He acknowledges that, and I hate that too. I hate when people be like, I'm just extra. That's just how I am. Okay, so now that you've recognized your behavior, like, what are we going to do about it? Because you don't get to use that as an excuse for treating people like crap. I think Anthony is jealous of Bravo because Bravo actually is a successful businessman, the kind Anthony claims to be, but Bravo actually is. Carlos already said they call Bravo the Prince of Detroit. And I feel like Bravo probably didn't have any problems integrating himself with the cool kids. And as much as that sounds crazy as adults, they over here still wanting that. Anthony is always trying to present himself as like my boy this and my boy that, like he's so connected with everyone. Bravo is Detroit. Seem like it, and he's not braggadocious. At the end of the day, whatever he doing where he need 2 phones and no location found, Bravo is over there handling business, 6 businesses. That's a lot. So even if it wasn't the club, like in his businesses look very nice. Like every time I've watched this show and they've showed any of Bravo's places, they all look like somewhere I want to go. And I can appreciate that him getting older and wanting to get away from the club scene and more into the restaurant scene. And Bravo is low key. So, I think Anthony is definitely jealous of that. Him and his wife both. They want that whole cool kid thing, but neither one of them, not unlike the Star Factory. Yeah, the Star Factory ain't doing too much of nothing, I don't think. I think it probably could if Brandon aligned himself with the right people. Maybe Bravo is the right person. Because I'm going to say this, because when Brandon gets in that studio and he starts training and doing his boot camp things, he seems very passionate about it, and his critiques are very on point from what we can see. So, I just feel like maybe he ain't, he been over there locked in with Christina being miserable. Hopefully now that he out in these streets, he could go ahead and, see what's going to happen. Carlos says Anthony is extremely confident. And I'm like, Anthony is extremely insecure. That's why he behaves the way he does. The best thing Anthony got going for him is Dr. LaToya, because it makes him feel like he's so much better than everyone. Whatever else him and Dr. LaToya got going on over there, it's not sexy. We don't want it. I don't mean, y'all stay together, do whatever you're going to do, but I don't have to want to watch it. Colby and Russell could be, except for Colby's always so whiny and Russell's always so box of rocks. Carlos ended the reunion telling the couples that they should follow love. It was a very, like I said, the part 2 is usually now. I'm notorious for not coming back and for a review. If the reunion is not offering a whole lot, I will dump. I know that's a bad thing, but we're Married to Medicine and Beverly Hills. I was not going to keep coming back over here to repeat myself. And so I feel like at this point, if he tried to pull a 3, there's nothing else to talk about. You telling the couples you should follow love. Shut up. What kind of advice is that? You just don't have any advice for married people because you're not married and you're not interested in being married. I would never be trying to advise married couples into doing anything. I know one thing at the end of, when was it? Was it the end of the week? The other day, just the last couple of days since the reunion has aired, Brandon and Christina announced that they're separating. After 14 years, let me find it. Child, I'm on this phone looking for it. I'm surprised. Okay, here it goes. After nearly 14 years of marriage, the Smiths have made the difficult decision to part ways. The decision was well thought out and wasn't made lightly. It comes after a great deal of reflection, care, and understanding. As we begin this new chapter, we remain committed to co-parenting our greatest blessings, Britton and Bailey. With love and respect, we are deeply grateful for your support and ask for your prayers, kindness, as we navigate this transition as a family. With appreciation, Christina, Brandon, Britton, and Bailey. I mean, I hope they can. I feel like they're going to be much happier apart than they were together, to be honest. Did he fall in love with the African? Who was the African? He had an was that girl supposed to be African? Huh. I don't know which African you're talking about. I feel like Brandon been wanting to be out in these streets. This is it's not even, they gave it a good try for people who met. and got married after 6 months of knowing each other. They put in 14 years. 14 years of miserable marriage. Brandon didn't want to be there. Christina herself doesn't seem. Carlos and the African. I think him and the African are done. Carlos and the African are done. He's looking for a different, place to slide. Yeah, after 6 months of knowing each other, they got married. They were married for 14 years. They have beautiful children. I don't think there's any way they'll probably get along much better. They did not disrespect each other like a lot of people do. Hey, Ralph. They were both on Carlos's show, and they both kind of very much hinted that there was nothing else left there, that they were done. And then, they moved on respectfully. Brandon, I mean, like I said, maybe hanging out with what's his name, Bravo, will expose him to some of the things that he wanted to do, because she wanted him to be at church and doing all of that stuff with the fruit of the spirit and stuff that he knew nothing about. And I don't either. So, I'm not going to get too, wrapped up in that. But what I do know is Christina, maybe now she can focus on the things that she said she was going to do. She does not want to be an entertainer, so don't do that. I've seen her posting things more recently, because there was a big break. Christina wasn't doing no influencing. She was, last pictures that she took, Brandon still had that ponytail. So that was over a year ago. If you're going to be an influencer, then you need to be constantly on, creating content. What'd she say? I know he didn't choose love like he told Christina and Brandon to do. Maybe he did choose love, just not with Christina. There was no love there. When I looked back at the first episode and they're all sitting outside, and she finds out that he has this artist without telling her, and then she calls him from the studio. It was horrible. It was horrible. I don't know what she was holding on to. Talking about it's not that bad. Christina seemed just as miserable as Brandon did. And even when he came for Colby, it really wasn't in defense of Christina. It was because he was pissed that Colby spilled his beans. He was talking about Carlos African. Yeah, Carlos he's not with the African anymore. He's done. Him and the African broke up. So Carlos is out in these streets doing whatever he do. Child. I hate to think. He's probably creepy like Andy. Andy Cohen. So I don't know, like I said, if there's going to be a season 3. Hopefully Christina and Colby both will take advantage of this opportunity, this platform that they have been given. It ain't a huge one, but it's big enough, you know what I'm saying, to leap, frog you to the next whatever it is you're trying to do. You should be thinking about what that is, because, I mean, if there's no season 3, then we probably won't think about these people no more after, you know what I'm saying? So you got to get in there while the skillet is hot, and they should both know that. That's it with that. So we'll be waiting to see what's going to happen for season 3. Maybe some of us waiting more than others. I don't know what the ratings were like. I don't even really like to get into ratings so much. I just like to watch what I like to watch. So ratings are not that important. I did enjoy this season. I do not want to do any more half and half seasons. So please stop doing that. I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're going to keep doing that. So yeah, y'all, it's a wrap for Christina and Brandon. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not going to be live. I'm probably going to do a premiere just so I can see what y'all talk about. I feel like it's a conversation. T said they need to get rid of the Dobines and Anthony and Latoya and get 2 new couples. The Dobines could definitely go. I don't think Anthony and Latoya are going anywhere. Latoya said her wine is at Myers, girl. You ain't. She said it's at the specialty Myers or something. You ain't seen her wine at Myers. I've been asking people have they tried the during opulence wine, and they said it's at Myers. So get you some. Let me know what it's up. See if you like the opulence. Never Ever Mets. I'll be here tomorrow to talk about Never Ever Mets. Like I said, I'm probably going to release it as a premiere so we can chit chat about things, but they keep on dropping more information. And, it's getting to be a lot to keep up with. I had to remix my whole situation. I was ready to give it to y'all today, but it ain't going to happen today because they keep doing things. What else? Tuesday, since this was the last of the Love and Marriage Detroit, please look for it. Since it's the last Love and Marriage Detroit, I'm gonna go ahead and next Tuesday I'm gonna start my review of Forever. If you haven't checked out Forever on Netflix, it's a cute little series. I think it's 8 episodes, and I'll do it 2 episodes at a time. So I'll be here next Tuesday live to talk about Forever. In the meantime, y'all, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow sometimes. Bye, T. Thank you for hanging out with me. Too much, too little, too late, child, to ever try again.